Yusuf.
This is the light for Islam to me.
Wallahi barak feek. Wallahi, I am so impressed of what I hear always about you. And what I watch on the TV. May Allah reward you for your efforts and your strength in keeping your path like this for 17 years now.
Every time I tell the story and I think about you,
Allah
I thank Allah so much that He sent somebody like this man. Why? I don't want to talk about you in front of your face. This is embarrassing.
No,
but this man, if Allah would have sent anybody else, I would not have listened to them.
Subhanallah.
Why? Why? Because you remember I was just telling about the priest and the one in the wheelchair. I was just telling you the story. This man was in a wheelchair, and it turned out he was a Catholic priest.
Okay.
So when I was witnessing to him, he said, okay, I want to confess something to you. And I said, don't confess to me, I'm not a priest. I'm not even a Catholic. He said, I know that. I am a Catholic, I am a priest.
Okay.
And I was shocked. You remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Father Peter Jacobs.
Peter Jacobs, yeah. I remember him very well,
yeah. When he got out of the hospital, I asked him to come and live in the house with us. And in the meantime, we brought Muhammad to live in the house with us. We had a big house out in the country.
Okay.
We called it the ranch.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this time you were new in America.
Midlothian, huh?
This time you were new in America.
Yeah, less than 1 year.
Less than 1 year.
Yeah.
Sometimes he would say words I didn't have a clue what he was saying, but he'd be smiling, I'd be going, yeah, I guess. You know, he was still getting his English together. Oh my God.
You're Texan.
Oh, and then what happened? Yeah, I don't know if I can remember what we're doing even here now. This is shocking me.
Okay, you met the guy in the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
He said he's from Venus.
Yeah, well, that's what happened. After I found out he was a Catholic priest, I realized that, he didn't like me coming and preaching to him as a Protestant Christian, Anyway, when he came to live with us, I was telling him about this guy is a Muslim living with us. Let's convert him. He's telling me, actually, as a Catholic priest, we had to study Islam. I know about Islam. I said, you do? He said, yes, it's a very important religion, and it has this and this. He's known the 5 points of Islam, the pillars.
Yes.
Believing in Allah and His Messenger, and performing the salah, the prayers, fasting Ramadan, and paying zakat, the charity, and also making pilgrimage. He knew all about these things. So then we would sit around the table at night. Now here's what we do. Clear off the table after the food. And then nonchalantly, let's just discuss the Bible in front of our Muslim friend. So I bring out the Revised Standard Version of the Bible. My father brings out the King James Version of the Bible.
Different version.
My wife had, she had the Jimmy Swaggart's Good News for Modern Man.
Surely.
And then the Catholic priest has a totally different Bible. Because these books are all 66 books each, okay? But the Catholic version, which is much older, in fact, the Christian Protestant Bible comes from the Catholic Bible. But the Catholic Bible has 73 books. What happened to the other 7 books? Nobody knows. Anyway, here we are. We're talking about which book. No, my book. No. And my book says in it that the Malik James, the King James Version, is having grave defects. It needs to be retranslated. And my father's saying, no, this one, no, that one, so and so. And finally, I'm embarrassed because we're arguing in front of him. I said, okay, but just change the subject. How many versions of that Koran thing do you have?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take the answer from him after we take this short break. Stay tuned, viewers, as we speak to Sheikh Yusuf Estes and the person who gave him Shahada, Brother Muhammad Abdul Rahman, after the break. Stay tuned.
Now my world is bright. Islam is my sight. Now my world is bright. Islam is my sight.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to The Straight Path. We're talking to Sheikh Yusuf Estes and his journey to the Straight Path, along with the brother who gave him Shahada, Brother Muhammad Abdul Rahman. Welcome again to the show, Sheikh. So we were talking about 5 of you on Brother Muhammad?
Yeah, I think probably we should let the people know. This is live, yeah?
Of course.
So you have call-ins, right?
Yep.
Okay, well, we should probably let the people know then that we're going to hold up any calls until after we complete the story. I think it's better. What do you think?
Of course.
I'm not trying to tell you how to run the show, but it just, you know. So the next thing that happens, you see, after the Bible Quran thing, because he says the Quran only has one version. Yep. And there we are. We're here with all these different versions of Bibles. He's saying Quran is only in Arabic anyway. You can have all the versions you want in translation, and they're not Quran. None of us would ever consider somebody gives you a Islamic ruling from a translation of Yusuf Ali.
No way.
Would never accept that, right?
I agree.
But if you look in the Quran and you see something clearly said, this is haram, this is halal, permitted, or something is forbidden, okay, then that's fine. So he's saying there's only one version of Quran, it's in Arabic language. And I felt like, okay, that was a dumb argument. I wish I had never brought that one up. So the next time we're sitting around, okay, let's go this way. I have another idea.
Okay.
In the meantime, my preacher friend has already told me, I talked to him on the phone, I went to his house, he said, stay away from that Muslim. Stay away from them, and whatever you do, if he brings that book, that Quran book, don't touch it. Mm-hmm. Don't read it.
Had any idea they were planning this?
No, at all.
Conniving and planning is what we were doing. How to convert this Muslim to Christian.
This is the first time I know that now.
You didn't hear that?
But you had in any part of the meeting Sheikh Yusuf back then? You had any intention to convert him as well?
No, it was just a business deal. That's all. Then it turned to be what happened. But originally it was just
a
business deal as
deal
far as concerned on my part.
Subhanallah.
So now the next thing I was thinking about, okay, let's go another route. So we clear the table after another meal on another night. This time, let's talk about God. We believe in God, the real God, the God of Adam and Abraham. And he's going, yeah, just like he'd said before. And then he asked me, how do you explain Trinity? Because I said, God is one. And he said, this is what we believe. He said, and that's it. We don't have anything more than that. But you have a Trinity, so how do you explain it? So I had this idea. I'm going to explain. You remember? Yeah. The apple, tufah. Yeah. The apple has the skin on the outside. Yeah. It has the white meat inside. And inside of that are the seeds. Sure. So these three things make one apple. Three things make one God. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. And then he said, how many seeds are in there?
Yeah. I remember.
So next day, I'm back over talking to my preacher friend again. I said, the apple thing didn't work. He said, I told you stay away from these Muslims. They're going to hurt you. You're going to get a demon, son. You're going to get a demon, a shaitan,
Yeah.
So I said, no, come on, man. Give me another. He said, use the babe, egg. Tell him about, I said, okay, egg. So next time I'm telling him, the egg, it has the white shell. Inside the shell is the white of the, and then inside of that is the yolk.
Yeah.
Three things, one egg.
Got him here.
Got him. No, he said, what if it's a double yolk? You know when it has two yellows?
Yes.
You see an egg do that sometime? He said, does your God become four? Ooh. And what if it's rotten? An egg could be rotten.
Then you have
Do you want a God that can be rotten?
Of course not.
Yeah. And you're comparing Allah to an egg, for crying out loud. This is an unbelievable thing. And so then it comes the subject of comparing God to a family. Like a man is a husband and a wife and a child. The three make one family. It's the family of God. Well, what if you have some more kids or twins? Or what if you get a divorce? You want a God that can get a divorce? No, you don't want that. So we're going through these different stages of how to explain something. Finally, I'm about exasperated. I tried the finger. You know the finger?
Yeah.
When it's one finger, but you go like this. 1, 2, 3 parts makes you compare God to your finger. What's this? SubhanAllah.
Trying everything possible.
Yeah, and then finally, the water. You've heard of the water one, right?
Yeah.
The water is like this. The water is three things. It is a liquid. It is a gas when it's a vapor, when it becomes steam. And also it's a solid when it freezes. Three things. All in one. Except what? They can't be all three at the same time. Yeah, that's right. So now what will you do? How will you so finally I'm going to throw it back on him. I said, well, what do you guys say about it? And what did he read? Surah Ikhlas.